It is a bit of a miserable day out there. Grey, dreary, rainy. And it rained pretty heavily throughout the night. I know this for an absolute fact because I did not sleep at all last night. I did all the usual things I would do to, wind down at the end of the day, wait to get so sleepy that my eyes could hardly keep open, and then, hope for a few hours sleep, wake, a few more hours sleep, my usual cycle. But yeah, last night, just wide awake the whole time, not even drowsy. So, yeah, yesterday, remember in yesterday's video, where I said I was feeling weird, feeling unusually agitated, feeling a little bit extra sensitive, especially tactily. Yeah, that wasn't just a weird day. That was warning signs. The wiring and the chemistry are conspiring against normal function, it seems. Which, given we are now days away from PAX, today's Monday. My PAX adventure starts softly on Thursday. My PAX itself kicks off on Friday. So I hope this passes quickly, because I don't know what direction it's going to go in yet. I do know I'm fairly alert still, despite the lack of sleep, although I did just down a big coffee from Macca's, so that's probably helping somewhat. But I am having trouble regulating emotions, so I'm not sure what the plan is. I mean, the plan was to continue moving towards kind of the east side of Melbourne to eventually swipe back into Melbourne and, my motel and my PAX adventures. But yeah, today specifically, what that means, where I'm going to end up, what I'm going to be doing, I don't know. We were talking yesterday about, keeping a close eye on your mood, on your emotional state, on your energy levels, on, all that kind of stuff around how you are reacting to the world and absorbing the world. And it's a skill everyone with autism, with bipolar depression, with any number of mixes of neurodivergencies and or mental health issues go. Because if we don't keep an eye on it, it can run away with us, and we can wind up, in places and doing things and saying things and otherwise behaving in ways we're not anticipating our usual behavior would go, and it gets very, it drives a lot of anxiety and panic and worry. So yeah, keeping a really high level of self-awareness on this stuff is just vital. And that's what's got me most concerned yesterday and today, because I'm not sure where I sit. I can't pin it down. I can't say, well, okay, this is what's going on. This is what my tactic has to be to, get through it. Because, of course, we've all got our own structures and coping mechanisms, we do. But you have to employ the right one at the right time. Otherwise, it don't work. Or it makes things worse, which is even more fun. And I very rarely get caught out like this. I wish I knew what was going on with me, because it's starting to... Just that is bugging me more than anything else, I think, at the moment. So, yeah, plan. I don't know, maybe find a shopping centre. Somewhere where I can park for a while. Go for another nice little indoor walk. I don't know. Do I want to do that? I don't know. Let me ever think about it. You'll see what I did next edit. Meanwhile, good morning. Well, a morning. Good is still up for debate. Although I guess that raises you wishing someone else good morning, not exclaiming that it is a good morning, right? I don't know. It's one of those funny little small talk phrases that autistics have to decode so we use it correctly. Do you mean it is a good morning? Because it's not. Or are you wishing I'm going to have a good morning? Or are you saying you're having a good morning? I don't know, man. Just use words. Communicate your feelings better, neurotypical bastards. All right, let's go. Right, just pulled into a very empty car park of a nearby park. Not surprising it's empty, it's a very ordinary day. Plus, I saw children in school uniform today, which reminded me school holidays are over. Yay, less pressure on camping grounds and caravan parks, at least for a while. Got an email as I was driving down here that now both applications I put in for those apartments are currently processing. So the process is moving forward. Fingers crossed I get one of them, or even get offered both of them so I get to make a choice. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know which one I'd choose between the two, but the joy of having no home and then having the luxury of choosing which home I would prefer, I feel that would be a bit of a boost to the old mood. Speaking of mood, I'm feeling weird, and I don't know why. Driving seems to help though. I guess the focus required for driving when you're autistic doesn't leave a lot of room for anything else. And I've had the radio on too, so any sort of boring spots in the driving where you're just sort of cruising along at a set speed on a nice flat consistent ribbon of road are taken up by music. I did put a halfway point mark in on my map between where I intended to go and where I am, or where I was. You know what I mean. There was a landmark called Moo Moo Lookout, and I thought, well, that sounds interesting. I wonder what that is. So I added it to my route. It was a field with some cows in. Literally, someone added like a tourist spot or whatever to just a regular, ordinary field with some cows in. That was Moo Moo Lookout. It wasn't even particularly photographic. Like, there was nothing interesting in the background or the foreground. It was just a very, very boring scene of a few cows. I didn't even stop the car. I was driving along and went, "Your destination is on the right." You have to be kidding me. I should have got out just for the lols of it, but I was so annoyed. Can't trust people. Anyway, there's public toilets over there. I need to stretch my legs and have a bit of a refresher. The place I was going to go locally here, I couldn't get a park out front. I drove by and everything was chock-a-block, which is why I'm here in the car park. But there is a shopping centre nearby which will have a large car park, so I might pull in there, walk to the place I wanted to go and see about it. The place I wanted to go is supposed to be some sort of camera store, but it's vague. It might actually be a J-Car Electronics that used to be a photo store. I don't know. The description on the map and the way it's the street view thing where it's marked doesn't look like a camera store. It looks like a J-Car. But it's called a camera store, and the reviews are like, "Hey, I picked up a lens here and it was great." We'll see when we get there. You know what's weird? Not that I've been to this particular shopping complex before. I told you guys that I'm retracing some of my steps in preparation for the planned entry into Melbourne. But the strange thing is, the car park that I'm in, like the specific car park, in this grander car park, the spot where my car is precisely the same car park that I had here about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I know this because there's a certain alignment that I used to reverse into this spot nice and tidily. Weird. What are the chances? What are the odds? How many car park spots are here? What are the odds this one will be empty again when I need it? It's weird, man. Weird. Anyway, on with the things and stuff. I guess it's both. Another swing and a miss for a photo store. It was JCar and a photo store sort of smooshed into the one place. I guess the owners are mates or something. Weird. But they did not have anything that I would refer to as modern photography equipment. In fact, it was all very, very old school. I was afraid to ask if you had anything for modern, digimandagical cameras, electronical photographic equipment. Did have a funny little OM4 knockoff camera though in the cabinet, like designed to look exactly like the old Olympus OM4, the classic, but from a brand I've never heard of, with a bunch of cheap ass lenses. Weird. If I had $400 just to throw away for lols, I might have grabbed it up, shot a film or two through it. Oh well. Ooh, here comes the rain. Alright, let's figure out what comes next. Alright, just another stop, another shopping complex. This one's got a few more furniture stores, another JB, another pet store. I got plenty of time to kill for the moment. Might as well relax. The furniture stores were all out of my price range, honestly, which is not terribly surprising. Pretty much everything is out of my price range. Didn't have the kind of furniture I wanted anyway, so it's still nice to look around. Pet store, dogs and cats only. I mean, it does say on the sign, Petos, Australia's largest dog and cat store. I didn't read that far when I went in. I thought it was just a regular pet store. And I got all disappointed because I was actually going in to look at some aquarium stuff. I used to have aquariums many, many years ago, pre-YouTube. That's how long back it was. Well, on the cusp of YouTube. YouTube appeared as I was keeping aquariums, because that's when I was first uploading my original brick film stuff archive to YouTube for easier distribution. That's going back. Pre-Google. Yeah, I was in the pet store yesterday and I was staring at the aquariums and I just had the urge. It's just one of those fantasies at the moment, if I get a place, I'll do this, I'll set this room up like this. This is the kind of furniture I would like to get if I can. I'll set, build a little studio space if I get a place with a, separate bedroom instead of a studio place like I had the last three places. It'd be nice to have a dedicated studio space. Put a big old green screen up. But yeah, one of the fantasies is, like, both the places I applied for will accept pets. You have to talk to the landlord before you get it, of course, to But, they're open to having pets, and I thought, well, I don't know if I'm stable enough to take responsibility for a dog as much as I would love to have a dog. But an aquarium, I always found those quite soothing. And not too difficult to look after once you learn what you're doing and learn about, how the water gets filtered and what the balance of that little microenvironment is supposed to be and how to look after it. And I find that all quite fascinating and fun to sort of manage. And I do find it quite soothing. And I had the thought of I could put up a little aquarium live stream. I don't know, just the weekends for people to chill out with. Set up a webcam I don't know. Just these little fun ideas I've been distracting myself with in this shiny future where I'm no longer homeless.
But they had no aquarium stuff in there, of course, because it's cats and dogs only. So that's disappointing. Maybe that's what I should do. I should look for a aquarium specialist place. I doubt this town's big enough for one of those. I could Google it though. Have a look on the maps. But yeah, I used to have a cold water aquarium, and I even had a tropical aquarium. I love my tropical aquarium. I had these little critters in them called silver sharks. They're not actually sharks, but they look like sharks. Like they have the shark body plan, and they can sort of grow about that big. Well, they can grow a bit bigger depending on how big of an aquarium you have. They kind of grow to fill the space to a certain extent, like many fish can. But yeah, they're pretty little fish. But I had another little aquarium with a beta in it. Had some neon tetras. Yeah, I had a bunch of little fish, and I'm going to have a quick look around to see if there is an aquarium specialist place in this town, just on the off. Aside from that, I might start... oh, doggo, did you see the doggo? Yeah, other than that, next stop would be a truck stop. There's a nearby truck stop. I think I've stayed at this one before again, as well. That's where I'll crash out for today. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens.
Your destination is on the right.
Three minutes away, as it turns out. Pet Barn. I know they have aquarium stuff. I tend to prefer the natural look over sort of the gimmicky stuff. Although there is something to be said for a dinosaur skull. But yeah, much nicer. Wee little tetras. Like little neon tetras. Aquarium classics. We've got the little comets. Little fantails. Little black fantail. Hello, fella. Mum, mum, mum. Another classic. Little Daniels. Not a bad place to start. Just a few small fish. An old 36 litre. Not bad. Well, that didn't exactly scratch the itch. They had the most basic selection of aquarium fish possible. And not much in the way of anything else aquarium. Just one size of each small stuff and a few decorations and bits and pieces. But at least there was something. Or I'd get another bird. Another cockatiel. The problem with birds, though, is there's always the chance that I'd have to leave town for a weekend or whatever, or even overnight for events and whatnot. I always feel a bit guilty about leaving a bird alone that long. Really shouldn't. Dogs, same. Fish, though, and reptiles, you can set those up with auto feeders. They'll be perfectly fine for a few days at the very least. So, to manage my expectations with how much management has to be done for the pet and what happens to the pet if and when my non-standard lifestyle or gig takes me elsewhere for a little bit. Aquarium would be really nice, though. But Not with those bitch basic fish in there. Like, I like the tetras, and they're a fine addition to an aquarium, but they're not the star. They're just the background characters. Man, they didn't even have any betas in there, I don't think. That's unusual for a pet store. Used to have a beta as well. And no, I did not keep it in a teeny tiny little tank, like the size of a drinking cup, like a lot of people do. No. My beta had like I think it was a 22-litre tank. Something in that order, anyway. Fairly big tank, and lots of stuff to hide under, and yeah, very, very happy, very, very colourful little samurai fighting fish. They're really cool looking fish, but not really that fun to keep, really. They don't explore, they just sort of hang there. I like an active fish. You have to go, where are you hiding today? That's why I like the silver sharks, that were fun. There's also a little species of catfish, I can't remember what it was, but I kept them to help keep the tank clean, because they, suck on the walls of the tank and eat the algae and stuff. Self-cleaning, awesome. Can't remember what they were called though. They're that big. Kind of a light greyish, brownish, spotty colour. Can't remember. They were cool looking little catfish though. Anyway, I'm starting to get hungry and thirsty in a big way, so I might mosey on in the general direction of that truck stop and start locking down for the day. Wow, that's a fly in the ointment. For the very first time I've come to a BP truck stop that does not permit overnight parking. 2-hour parking only. Even for trucks. What's the point of a truck stop? So, plan B. Don't know yet. I'll let you know when we get there. That's kind of jacked me up though. That's the one big stress about being homeless in a van, just trying to find somewhere safe and secure every night. That you're not going to be bothered